Yo, what's going on? How dead sports fans? This is Paul and Austin coming to you again with another great episode of our show, talking about the World Wrestling Entertainment or pro wrestling in general, however you want to however you want to do it. We're gonna talk some pro wrestling. How's it going, buddy?
I'm doing all right. You know, uh, like I said, just um crazy weekend, crazy couple of days, but still here doing all right. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. So we're a week off of Mania, right? Is that right?
Just about, yeah, or well,
Okay.
little
L
little
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 over a
after.
week? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, we had WrestleMania. We didn't have a chance to talk about the Raw after WrestleMania. Um, what were your initial thoughts on the Raw after Mania?
I think they kind of broke it up into two parts in all
Okay.
seriousness. I think they had it both weeks were both the post Mania Raw, in my opinion.
Okay.
Um because of my next point that I'm gonna make here. You got to witness two different stars get over their immediate first night on Raw in two different ways,
So,
which was that's number one.
yeah, absolutely.
That's number one. She put in an incredible match. Knew she wasn't gonna win. Knew it was gonna be, relatively quick. It actually wasn't relatively quick, but it was a fantastic match with Liv Morgan.
Hmm.
Going to the other person who I thought, again, just immediately got over, Joe Hendry. And again, Joe Hendry is one of those in the wrestling sphere that got real big real quick, kind of cooled off, I say, in a little bit, and then debuted on Raw with a concert and had the entire crowd singing. Again, you made two different stars on their very first night on the main roster in two completely different ways. Thought it was done beautifully.
Yeah. No, I tend to agree with you. I love Soruka. You know, they they need to protect her at all costs. So stop pushing her off loud, um, very, very tall buildings or even structures and having her almost hit her head on multiple tables. Stop doing that to her, please. Stop doing that. But then yeah, Joe Hendry, yeah, I figure if he got into WWE, especially Raw, where Raw is more of a variety show, um, then he'll be able to get over. So no, it's good. It's good. Um, what was your take of Roman Reigns and Jacob Fatu, the past 2 weeks, the past 2 weeks. I guess my question is, before we go to that, what is your take of this version of the bloodline with Roman, Jimmy, and Jay?
I hate that we have to go to the fact that we need to regurgitate it already. I I'm not I wouldn't say that I'm overly fond of it. Um I love I enjoy Roman as a champion, and I think him and Fatu are gonna be that's gonna be incredible.
Hmm.
Um but again, it's one of those where you go, all right, I really don't think Fatu is gonna win the title.
No, no, I don't think so either. But I think, like you said, I think they'll put together a great match. It'll be hard hitting. It'll be aggressive. I enjoyed their back and forth. Um, the past couple of weeks on Raw, particularly yesterday when they get a little bit physical, where you know, Fatu put on the Tongan death grip on Roman, and you kind of forget about that move because there's only so many Samoans that know how to do it,
And
i.e.,
and
Haku.
and again, you look at those two and specifically Jacob. He's such an interesting character. Like he's big enough that he can do the hard hitting, the the big man stuff. He's also an athletic freak.
Yeah.
You don't see people like that often. So he's an interesting package that I would love to see that match, just not right now.
Yeah, I do think this is one of those where how can I put it? I wonder if they're trying to, number one, and I know he doesn't need it, but just build up Roman to where eventually when Obafemi ultimately wins, takes the title off of, yeah, takes the title off of Roman, it will mean more. But I do think that a Backlash pay-per-view shouldn't be a pay-per-view where you get Roman versus Jacob Fatu.
I don't even think it needs to necessarily be one of the big four, but at
No,
least make it one of the more meaningful uh pay-per-views, like a Money in the Bank.
yeah,
Um, that's the only one that's coming to mind.
yeah.
But
I mean, get that. I mean, if they really want to do Night of Champions in Saudi, they could have waited for that. Um, you know, yeah. I mean, they could have, yeah, they could have waited. But I understand. But I guess my question is this: um, Jacob Fatu is a technically a SmackDown superstar. So why is why is he challenging for Roman's title unless there's some sort of agreement between Adam Pearce and Nick Aldis?
it could be my thoughts is it could just be like the post Mania roster shuffle potentially.
Sure. I mean, yeah, they could have done that in Clash at Italy. Yeah, you got Night of Champions. Then there's a couple of Saturday night's main events, and then you got SummerSlam.
I could have, and one of the Saturday night main events you could have had thrown it in there. It's just
Yeah,
with it being his first title defense, unless they want to do something that I don't think they have the balls to.
we'll put the title on Jacob.
Yeah.
Yeah, they won't do that.
Well, not necessarily put the title on Jacob, but have Roman lose this early. I don't think they have the balls to do that.
I mean, I can see Roman if they want to pull out the old playbook. Roman can lose by disqualification, and if you want to keep this feud going for a little bit to where Roman actually picks up a legit pinfall at some point, if they want to do that, if they want to keep the feud going, you can do that. But I am excited about the match itself. Um, I just don't think that. I guess it does kind of make sense in terms of the story, but I would have preferred to see someone else in that. Um, it is Backlash. It's not called WrestleMania Backlash, so that's a good thing.
Thank God.
You know what? We already had WrestleMania. You know what we should do? We should name it WrestleMania Backlash. That will
Then
sell
it's
some
still
tickets.
then it's still got that ring.
That, yeah, we should do that. Absolutely, absolutely. Um, yeah, so we'll see with that. I am excited to finally see Braun Breaker versus Seth. Once again, that's another. I'm wondering if they're trying to make a lot of these lesser than lesser pay-per-views or PLEs me more, considering the fact that how much money, once again, it goes back to a business decision, how much money ESPN is paying for to have the streaming service or whatever. Um, so my guess is a lot of these PLEs now are going to be a little bit more. They're going to mean something in terms of match wise.
They're going to be a lot more stacked
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah. Yeah,
Um,
so
and I agree with you. I'm finally happy to see that inevitable match between Braun and Seth, but that one specifically, I think is going to take multiple,
oh, I tend to agree with you. You'll probably get the Vision involved with that. Um, I I think the blow off might be a SummerSlam,
more than likely.
more than likely. Um, so we just have to see, and then another match that they made, and which will lead to my comment is the Oscar versus Kairi Sane match.
Io
And
Sky.
I'm sorry, Io Sky, excuse me. Um, yeah. So since we're going into that, because it's a great segue, um, the WWE on Friday released 23 individuals.
Out of the blue.
Well, they do this every year. I wouldn't say out of the blue. They do it every year.
They haven't done it to this scale in a few years.
I mean, yeah, I mean this is a large amount of people that they released, but they also signed a bunch of people during this time frame too.
But I, my question to it is it was a large amount of people that got significant screen time.
Yeah, 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 because one in particular that I guess kind of troubled me was Kairi Sane, just because of the time and the effort, the TV time that they put into the story that they were telling between Asuka, Io Sky, and Kairi.
And people let them know.
Yeah, and I found it interesting that they kind of cut from that because yeah, because people were pissed about that. The Wyatt Six, to be honest with you,
It sucks.
it sucks. That didn't shock me at all.
I
After a
thought it
while,
I thought
after
at least Bo would have been safe for a little while longer. But
yeah, yeah. Aleister Black and Zelina. Um, that one shocked me considering, the reports that were coming out how the original plan was for Aleister Black to be that person that was on the phone with Randy Orton. And and then TKO kind of came in and kind of screwed the pooch and put Pat McAfee. So, I was kind of shocked with that. Um, I wasn't shocked with Piper Niven because Piper Niven's hurt. I don't think she'll be able to wrestle again. Zoe Stark, um,
kind of the same deal.
same deal. I mean, she just got cleared, but I like Zoe Stark, but I understand why. Um, Alba Fire in the same boat. I mean, what's Chelsea Green going to do now? She has no Purvis anymore.
Yeah, but Ethan Page is now on the main roster.
This is true.
That's her. That's going to be her person, I guess.
Yeah. There's a few people from NXT. Chase from Chase U was let go.
That one sucks because I would have loved to have seen Chase U on the main roster. I think that would have been an absolute blast.
Yeah. I'm trying to figure out Apollo Crews. Sometimes you forget about him. When I saw his name, I was like, oh, okay.
That one, to tell you the truth, that one just makes a lot of sense,
Yes. Um,
unfortunately. And again, I just want to preface this too. It's never a good thing to see people lose their
oh
job.
no, 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 no. It really doesn't. I just don't.
We're
I
speaking here more analytically.
Yeah, and the thing with me when it comes to this stuff is I don't get mad anymore when it comes to WWE releases, and especially because I we talk about this and I try to understand the business side of it, and especially after WrestleMania, they're going to be recycling that roster every single year. And, or even if you are a signing, you basically got 8 to 16 months to try to build yourself before that purge comes again. And and one of the things that I would like to know, which I think one of them I got the answer for, was where were some of these talents when it came to the contract status? Because some of these might have been we're just not renewing your contract. That that
Yeah,
that could be the case too. I know in the situation what Bakari's was saying, um, I saw something online from Dave Meltzer basically saying that she was looking to go back home.
she still wants to live in Japan.
Yeah, and the
That's
WWE and the WWE just, I guess, let her out of her contract.
yeah. Um,
But what sucks is that there's no payoff for that story unless they bring her back in for Backlash, um, at the end of the month. Oh, I'm sorry, a couple weeks. Wow, I can't believe Backlash is in a couple weeks.
they're moving along quick.
Yeah, so um, um if there's a payoff for that. But yeah, a lot of these releases, they suck, but the business keeps churning, unfortunately. Um, I see a lot of fans being mad at TKO about it. I'm like, why? Why are you mad at TKO? I mean, are you mad at the McCaskies because, the Bears cut a certain player? You know what I'm saying? I just think that in this case, TKO is just low-hanging fruit.
They've
And
gotten so much scrutiny over the past couple months with
yeah,
the build to Mania and stuff. It's just the easy.
yeah, it's the easiest thing, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, like I get it, but this happens every single year. That roster's so bloated, particularly on the women's side. It's so bloated. Um, I had a buddy of mine who said that he would love to see an all-women show for the WWE, and I said, okay, that would be great. What night would you put it on? We're already oversaturated with wrestling.
There's wrestling. If you want to sit down and consume all of it, you're watching it every single night.
Yeah. So let's see here. You got Monday Night Raw. Isn't Evolve on Monday too, or is that Tuesdays?
I think it's two. No, I think Evolve is Wednesday,
Okay. So you got Raw on Monday, NXT Tuesday, AEW Dynamite Wednesday, TNA Thursday,
Thursday.
Friday SmackDown, and Saturday Collision slash a PLE.
It's every single day of the week, more often than not.
So once again, where are you going to put the show? That makes sense for it to get the most eyes.
It just it it would be cool. It's a cool idea in theory. It won't pan out.
No, because if you're going to have Evolve be this true minor league brand, because I think NXT is a third brand, if you really going to have Evolve be that, then you still got to have that. Um, I think what hurts a lot of these talents now is the fact that, and we talked about this, is the fact that they don't do house shows. Like some of those talents that got released could at least be doing house shows.
It- and I I you are 100% correct. I mean, just the lack of house shows that they do now, it's better for the talent. It's better to keep their body fresh and better for TV and stuff, but they're not getting that exposure. They're not getting that small fan support because, you know, as of recently, like last 10 years or so, you would see something come out from these house shows that you just go, huh, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, another thing that could help them is the fact that, you know, You could have some of these talents to go to TNA. I mean, I think they still have that partnership. I mean, I
What's
haven't
still
seen,
there?
they still could do stuff like that, but TNA's roster is about to get bloated too.
It it's just in my mind, some of the releases did not make sense to what you have. Like the Wyatt Six, I completely understand, but that's getting rid of a tag team on SmackDown, which the tag team division on SmackDown is already thrashed. You got rid of the Machine Guns, another tag team on SmackDown. It it kind of makes you question some of these
Okay,
in a way.
I'm about to ask a very dumb question. Who's the tag team champions? Is it the MFTs?
Um, I believe on SmackDown it's the NFT, the MFTs, and then Raw is the Vision.
Okay,
I think.
okay.
I just I don't know. It sucks because we're going back to the time where tag team wrestling does not matter,
And I think another thing that's not helping it either. SmackDown's going back to 2 hours.
which I think will be better for the product.
It'll be better for the product, but the roster not so much.
That's the thing.
So now you got to figure out what people are going to need time, and you already know that Cody's going to need his time. You know, Rhea's going to need her time. Um, that women's tag team division, they'll probably put more focus on the women's tag team division again. That's going to need their time. So, I mean, there isn't a lot of space for this bloated roster.
I think you need to do what you did at Mania 39 again or 38. You need to combine the belts again. Make the champions be a floating champion.
That honestly, that would make sense. Um, or you shorten your roster.
And if you do bring it down to one title, please keep the SmackDown belts.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I'm a fan of the SmackDown belts. Yeah, I'm a fan of SmackDown belts. Yeah,
Just I prefer those so much more over
or
the Raw ones.
yeah. It's funny how the Raw titles always look like crap.
Kind of
Yeah,
in a way.
yeah,
Um, but it's I think that would be the best for business is trying to condense the tag team scene in a way where you don't have to juggle the two types of belts on each show. You can do one on each. You can do one set of belts floating through each show. So you could have the tag champs go into a feud with a team on Raw, have that go for a couple weeks, then transition it to a SmackDown team or something, vice versa. However you want to do it, I think it'll just help out the division in so many different ways.
yeah. So it's actually funny. Um, According to the SmackDown Hotel, the WWE has 190 active participants on their roster. 190. That's a lot. So and that goes from Raw all the way to like the part-timers. Like they even got um even some of the people who are injured. They even goes from Raw, SmackDown, NXT, LFG. That's another thing. LFG, Evolve. You got the WWE ID NIL. You know what I'm saying? So you've got My God. Yeah, you've got so many people on, on this roster that how you going to sit up here and try and fit everyone? And everything is cyclical anyway.
Hmm. It's going to be that juggle time.
And if you're not in the main event scene, then you're not, you know, yeah, you're not going to sit up here and get on there. I mean, right now, if you want to go with
There's a
on the
number of top stars that are injured. They're going to get their time when they come back.
yeah, I mean, right now, the upper card for the women, the the two top faces on the upper card, according to this, is Rhea Ripley and Sol Ruka. And then your heels are JC Jane, Jay Cargill, Liv Morgan, and Raquel Rodriguez. The, that's your upper card. And then your mid card right now, that's where the talent is. There's roughly 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23 women on the mid card, and there's two women on the low card, and that doesn't include any women who are currently hurt, like Chelsea Green and Nikki Bella.
And Naomi, who's
Oh,
out
and
with a baby.
Naomi, Stephanie
Bianca
Becerra,
Belair.
Bianca Belair.
I mean, those
Yeah,
aren't just not that anybody's lower or higher than anybody in status, but those aren't just names you scoff at.
no, no. I mean, if you want to like like the women's mid card on SmackDown, the top mid card is Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair, Jordan Grace, Tiffany Stratton, who's your champion, and then you have Nia Jax, Michin, Lash Legend, Laney Reed, Kiana James, Julia Fallon Henley, and BFAB. So
And you go up the list of those names too, majority of them were on or around WrestleMania.
yeah, and
So like
then
they're trying.
and then was it Fatal Influence? Yeah, Fatal Influence debuted on SmackDown, and then the lower mid card includes um I hate the fact that he's a lower mid card. Johnny Gargano, Berto, and Angel, and then the men card, got the champions like Trick and R-Truth and Damian Priest and things like that.
Oh, that's right. They
Yeah,
are the
the tag
SmackDown
team.
tag champs.
Yeah, yeah, because they
I
beat the MFTs.
I forgot about that.
Yeah. So I mean, and then plus you got the NXT roster that you get those call-ups from LFG, and then yeah, I mean it's cyclical, man, and that's why after a while I don't get mad. I'm always curious to see who they let go, but yeah, I don't get mad when it comes to these actual releases because you know it sucks, but I just don't get mad when it comes to that.
It's it sucks, but the best thing about it is that pretty much everybody that's been released, if you want to keep doing this, you'll find work.
Yeah, and Karrion Cross actually proved that you can do this stuff. I mean, hell, Matt Cardona
He
proved that
started it.
started it, right? Proved that you can sit up here and get released by the WWE and still make tons of money. Now you got to hustle.
Look at our WWE champion.
Oh yeah, yep,
He asked to be released, but again, still left, came, made a bigger name for himself, came back, and is arguably one of the biggest stars in the company.
Yep. No, you're not wrong. Not wrong. Speaking of that, I saw that WWE has 190. You know how many people are on AEW's roster, including inactive talent, active talent, and also like backstage folks?
Enlighten me.
215.
That's insane. That's insane. I wow. That's a lot.
It is. But the difference is that a lot of these guys within AEW can go do other stuff.
That is the thing. But also there's going to come a point where they're also going to start having these type of mass releases because they're going to have to.
Oh, well, the thing is that I don't think AEW makes them public like the WWE does. Or or the WWE don't have to make them public. They just you get some of these dirt sheet people that put them out.
Shout out Zelina Vega.
Thank you, Selena Vega, for saying what you said. Because back in the day, you didn't know people's, and that's the thing. Like you didn't know talent contracts like you do now because everything wants to be like real
Everybody
sports.
wants to know everything.
Right.
You can't just, I mean, I can't lie. I do also look at that stuff too. It, I wouldn't say it interests me, but I read some of it, of course. It's there. How can you
Yeah.
not? It's so accessible, but like it doesn't need to be. It shouldn't be, you know? I mean, like we were saying, Zelina Vega found out on Twitter. She didn't hear
Yeah.
from she didn't hear from the company yet. She found out on Twitter.
Yeah. I mean, it's no different than how a player would find out on Twitter, oh, I've been traded or I've been cut or something like that.
Yeah, it's still just absolutely wild.
It is. It is. See, now I'm curious to know how many people are on TNA's roster. 67. That's
See,
where,
that's also still a lot.
yeah, I mean, considering, they have one show, but once again, a lot of these people are, are,
They get
um,
to do other
they get to
shows.
do other stuff.
I actually have a buddy who is signed to TNA.
Who's that?
Jake Painter. He's he showed up more on their second show a lot. I forgot what it's called, like TNA Explosion or some shit.
Okay. Th- does he have a ring name?
The backbreaking artist Jake Painter. I'm pretty sure he signed to TNA, or he was just doing work with them.
Okay. Yeah, I don't see him on their active roster, and that was as of uh yesterday today. Yeah, I mean New Japan has 92 people, but that's also they also include some of AEW people like Andrade is on here, Athena's on here from Ring of Honor. They got Moxley on here.
When he comes back from injury full time, he'll probably have Will Ospreay on there.
Yeah,
See, that's where it gets interesting.
yeah. So you mentioned you wanted to go into some of the IWC. What you got?
Stop blaming wrestlers or talent for stop blaming talent when the talent is there, creative just sucks. I have seen a lot through these releases of, well, it's about time these guys, these guys got released. I'm speaking specifically to a lot of people that have talked on the Wyatt Six getting released. People were saying that they sucked, you know, they weren't good, they didn't have anything to offer. Stop blaming wrestlers for creative problems. I hate it so much because the Wyatt Six as a package, when you sit back and think about it, could have been a lot more than what it was. The creative around it was just terrible.
I would say that the first few weeks of the return of the Y6, particularly that time when they were freaking out Chad Gable, when they were beating the hell out of people in the back. You had that bloody scene in the back.
Oh, so
That
cool.
that was great. But since then, um, yeah, it kind of went down another rabbit hole. And yeah, I mean it's creative. I mean, it's hard with a group like that, and especially um, that's supposed to be a little bit supernatural. That's why I've always said like characters like the Undertaker wouldn't, well, the old school Undertaker wouldn't be able to get over these days.
But my point that I'm trying to make is that there's always been a supernatural character. There's always been a need for at least one of those guys. Making it a whole group does make it a lot harder. Yes, absolutely. And to tell you the truth, if the unfortunate passing of Bray Wyatt didn't happen, I guarantee you it would be a much different conversation. But um there has, for years and years and years, there's always been that supernatural character. It's just nobody could do it the way that Mark Calloway did with The Undertaker.
Well, he protected it. It it's it's one of those where if the Undertaker, the original character from 80, when he debuted, no, I'm sorry, 90 91, if the internet and everything was around, I don't know if that character would have been able to stay as fresh as it was back in the day.
I think the reason I 100% agree with you, but he kept reinventing himself in a different light.
Sure. And honestly, that's when everything for me changed as a fan, when I'm like, hey, why is this dead man coming out as a biker dude?
See, people immediately go from Dead Man to the biker. There were multiple iterations of the Dead Man itself.
Well, here, I mean, you had the dead man, then you had the corporate ministry.
Even before that, you had Phantom of the Opera,
Oh yeah,
which
well,
which I would say is a different take on the
well,
character because
yeah,
he went darker
well,
somehow.
he broke his face.
Well, yes, it was a necessary change, but
Yeah,
he still reworked the character in some way for that. But then again, like you said, the corporate ministry, when he had the ministry, because he really couldn't work that much because of how broken he was,
yeah,
but they still wanted him on TV.
yeah. I mean, you had
Um,
the biker, the American badass, Booger Red, um,
Big Evil,
Big Evil, and then he went back to the
Return of the Dead Man,
to turn it. It was kind of, honestly, it was a little bit of a combination because of what he wore and how his hair was, like shorter and stuff like that.
and
So
his style.
yeah,
And he changed his style to incorporate that brawler type with the biker, but also have the stalking and slow movement. And he picked it up when he wanted to.
yeah,
Um, with the Undertaker and like I said, there's been supernatural characters all the time. The other one, his brother Kane, another one that reinvented himself in slight tweaks throughout the years until the big one of removing the mask. But they were able to stay relevant and alive just because of one, they were really good at what they did.
Well, that's part of the reason why. Remember when I sent you that post that asked you which wrestler, was like legacy was probably not worse, but l- less.
Who stands up from the table to let somebody sit down or whatever, or who had the least impact.
Yeah, that
That's what
that's
it
why
was.
that's why I said Warrior.
And it's because Warrior did not have a small or a small impact on the business. He still had a very big impact on the business. It's just the people that were there also had so much bigger impacts.
Well, it's between that. Did you have a chance to watch the Hogan documentary?
I watched a I didn't get to watch the documentary yet. I still want to sit down and watch it,
Okay.
but I watched a
What?
video. I watched a video that said, "Here's what they emitted."
Well, I'm pretty sure they made a bunch of stuff, but it's an interesting doc, and they talked a little bit about Hogan talked a little bit about Warrior. I can't I think it was the second episode. Dude, I binge watched all four episodes, by the way, in one night.
I'm not surprised. Like I do want to sit down and watch it, and then I want to rewatch the video that emitted this stuff because like what they were saying did not make sense to me. Like when he went over to WCW, they were saying that um they emitted a lot of WCW's biggest stars of all time to make it seem like Hogan was the WCW guy when he became Hollywood Hogan, when he never was. In my opinion, he never was the WCW guy.
No, the WCW guy will always go back to being either Flair or Sting, but the the person who was the most popular with the most popular uh not clique but organization or
Click wordplay.
or clique, yeah. Or even faction, that's the term I'm looking for, was Hogan and the NWO. So, so I mean, like I get what they did, but you know, I mean Hogan's definitely on that Rushmore of WCW, talent, top talent. Flair, Flair.
Flair, Sting, Goldberg. I have to put Goldberg on there
No, that's
because
fine.
he was their biggest homegrown talent.
Yes. No, that's fine. And then the biggest heel was Hogan.
I suppose that is fair,
Yeah.
but there was that, and then just I again I watched this video. I have not watched the documentary, so I don't know for sure. You'll let me know. They danced around Macho.
They didn't even bring up Macho.
Massive part of both of those men's careers were each other.
Yeah, as far as I understood from my viewing, they didn't really go into Savage at all.
And you're talking about a 2 or 3 year storyline
Even in WWF, they didn't really touch it. Um,
with
Miss,
the combination of the mega powers,
yeah.
then the mega powers exploding, leading to Mania 5.
Honestly, my probably my top three wrestling stories of all time: Savage, Hogan, Savage, and Elizabeth, where that story was told, and then Kane and Taker, that story, and then the Bloodline. Those are my top three.
Ooh, ooh, if we went top three, Kane and Taker is in my top three. Austin and Vince
Yeah,
is
yeah,
also in my top three, and probably the Bloodline.
yeah,
If it's not the Bloodline, if I want to go towards more like the emotional chords, I'm dancing between the Daniel Bryan story and Kofi Mania.
yeah.
It wasn't super long. Well, Bryan's more so was. It wasn't like this super long term build. It kind of happened in a matter of like 6 months, but it told their whole career story and just those moments. I think those were just better moments than an actual story, but the
Right.
story told was still very good.
Yeah, no, I got what you're saying. I got it. Yeah, no, I mean, I found myself like some of the stuff within the Hogan documentary, you know about, but to see some of the stuff in terms of um the fact that after a while Terry Bollea ceased to exist, and it was Hulk Hogan 24/7, 365.
And and again, like I said, have not watched it, so you're gonna have to let me know. But in that fourth episode, they kind of went where the fans turned on him because of his political involvement.
Well, it was a few things. It was the political involvement, number one, and then number two, you still had some fans that never really felt like Hogan really made up for the slur he used um um on
To
the on
quote the, to
on the
quote the
sex tape.
man, he's racist to a point.
Yes. That's basically what it came down to. Like fans felt like there wasn't enough of the apology for that.
Well,
And
yeah, they even admitted the fact that Mark Henry came to him and said, "Hey, let's go on an apology tour together. We'll go to these black neighborhoods and stuff, and you can talk and speak, and we can try to do something about it." And Hogan
yeah,
just said, "No, I'm good."
yeah. So I think it's that. And then the him supporting Trump didn't necessarily help his cause either, for that. Because with that you're dividing your fan base. And you know what it is what it is. Um, but I don't know. Like I said, the fact that the even when he was wrestling, he didn't the fact that he didn't have his first surgery until like early 2000s or something like that. And doing the leg drop for so many years finally caught up to him. Like he was wrestling with like torn meniscus, torn ACL, stuff like that. And then he had to have to a point where they had to put in like a little stimulator in his back, just send up to his brain so they can get signal. It's just it was just a weird documentary because as part of that documentary, I was getting all hyped up because they showed, my favorite WrestleMania match of all time between Hogan and Rock and how that crowd turned, but how they were able to do it, and then all of a sudden after that, you know, Vince goes to Hogan and you're gonna go back to red and yellow,
And he was okay with that.
and then you're gonna win the title. You're gonna take the title off Triple H.
And then it was the thought that, oh, I'm back in the I'm Hulk Hogan again.
Yeah, and then
Then he wanted to stay in that main event picture where he just did not need to be.
no. no. And then they showed the feud between Shawn Michaels and him. What?
That was a little bit of the old Sean coming out.
Yeah, yeah, it was.
Understandably so, I will say.
Yeah,
But one of the funniest matches to sit back and watch.
no, because Michael o oversold.
The
I would
entire
say
thing.
watch the documentary, and especially the part when they talk about passing the torch over to Warrior. It gets interesting.
I, I will be watching that documentary. I just have not had the chance yet.
Yeah. Yeah, I just happened to saw some clips. I was like, oh, let me watch it. And then I started watching it, and then I was like, oh, there's 4 episodes. All of a sudden, I'm done.
Well, in case you missed it, WrestleMania, they wanted you to know that there was a Hulk Hogan documentary.
Oh, well, what when we had our WrestleMania recap show, what did I tell you? That was 25 minutes of the documentary and the women's
20
matches
minutes,
were 20
21
20 20.
minutes, or something
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah.
Just hysterical. I had to bring that up again. It's
No,
so funny to me.
no, they wanted to make sure that people knew that it was going to be on Netflix.
Absolutely. It was hysterical.
Yeah. Yeah. Um I'm trying to think of the fact that, when we look at the landscape of wrestling, um, there was a Mark Shapiro, I guess the head of TKO, said that the like basically TKO is in charge of creative, in which I kind of like, yeah, I think we all know that, but we all don't want to hear you say that.
Well, he went back and said, what was it, Triple H and them? They
Yeah.
they run the show, but he said, if 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 need be, they will go ahead and stick their nose in, which again, very prevalent when they do.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, if you want to do it within the women's tag team title match, okay, then do it. I don't need you to do it, for on Cody Rhodes' road to WrestleMania,
For 3 years in a row.
3 years in a row, 3 years in a row. I just don't think that it's good for business.
No, but I think it was one of those things that like it had to be addressed in some way, shape, or form, or else you would start seeing the turn a lot more.
Yeah, and we had talked about TKO earlier. Like I said, I don't necessarily blame them for the roster, churn. I mean, this roster churn has been going on since Vince, and people notice it more now because of social media.
It's much easily accessible. It's
Yeah.
easy, yeah, something like that.
I mean, the WWE used to put stuff out on their website, so and so was released from their contract. We wish them well in their future endeavors. But you actually had to go to the website and look for that stuff.
Hmm.
It's not like now you can go to your Twitter feed and you can follow you know, XYZ dirt sheet and see, oh, you know, XYZ wrestler was released today,
Actually, minutes ago.
minutes ago, or this person signed a contract that we will be debuting on this show.
We don't
And
need to see that.
no, and that's why I was kind of pissed when I saw that page was coming. Actually, no, I heard that page was coming. I didn't see it. I heard because it was happened to break it on a show that I was listening to. I was like, oh, I really don't want to see that.
Yeah, because it came out like the Wednesday before Mania
Yeah.
that she had signed. I was like, come on.
Or I mean, just go back to 38 when Cody came back. There was big talk around that, and I mean, granted, yeah, it was a good a good pop for him when he came back, but you know, I don't I don't need to see or read a current particular, like I want to be surprised. For example, I always go back to Two things. Number one, I go back to was it 33 when the Hardys came back? Is that
Yes.
34? 33?
No, 32. Regard one of those.
No, 32 was Dallas. So
Yeah,
that'd be th
I thought they came back at Dallas.
no, it was Orlando.
Hmm.
So it might have been 33, 34. 30 might have been 33. And no one knew. That was great. Or
Ah,
or actually I just thought of another one in 2011 when The Rock came back. No one knew Rock was coming back. He got a
on that
huge pop
random Raw.
on a random Raw, for Road to WrestleMania to lead up to eventual him and Cena, or even you want to go more recent, Punk. When Punk came back, 3 years was it 3 years ago? 4 years ago?
It was 2.5 years ago. Yeah.
Yeah,
He came back November 23.
yeah. So I mean, if you want to,
That
go
one was based on just speculation. No one knew nothing.
no, and you know, I kind of figured that like they were waiting a really long time for them to cut the feed. And then all of a sudden you hear his music. I was like, this is good. And once in a while I'll go back and I'll listen to it. Or I'll try to find a video where Seth Rollins loses his mind.
Again, 30 feet from the guy.
Yeah.
Genuine anger. I do not believe that was staged. That was genuine anger.
Yeah.
And again, I'll go back and watch it too because it puts me right back into that stadium. That was, or arena. That was one of the coolest moments that I've ever gotten to witness live.
And speaking of Seth, shout out to him and Kyle Brandt for what they did during the NFL show.
Give me a
They
hug.
they worked everybody. Absolutely worked everybody.
I mean, if
And
you knew, you knew. They're both Bears fans.
yeah, I'm sitting there, I'm just kind of like, and there's people that, oh my God, this is not an act. This is not a bit. I go, yeah, it is.
And of course it is.
It is.
It had to be.
Like why would they do this? The this show is on the NFL network. It's not on ESPN. They worked you.
A lot of that goes to sports fans, not so wrestling fans,
Yeah.
I think, in a way. No, that's got to be sure, buddy.
Oh, and I know we don't normally do this, but Rob Parker, shut the fuck up. Do you know who Rob Parker is?
That one I don't know. I need some
Okay,
context.
Rob Parker is um a sp- he used to be a sports journalist. Now he hosts a radio show on Fox Sports. Um, Once in a while I'll listen to him, but he made a comment about grown men liking wrestling, that we shouldn't like wrestling
Why?
because we're grown men and we shouldn't like a sport a sport that doesn't have quote unquote competition because you know that the ending is predetermined. Here's the thing. We don't know who's going to win.
No.
We're not in creative. We just hey, just like when we watch our favorite teams on Sunday, we think we have an idea who's going to win, but yeah,
And let me just say, especially more so recently, now you can gamble on it.
yeah,
Why can you gamble on it? Because people don't know.
mm-hmm,
It the sports books may seem like they know, but hell, underdog wins sometimes anyways too.
yep, yep,
It that's a ridiculous comment.
yeah. And I saw that. I was like, dude, I'm like, and Mark Henry did a really good job of kind of talking about how like, do you like Star Wars? Do you like Marvel? Like, do you like those movies? stuff like that. Like we know that it's quote unquote predetermined, but it's the story that goes into it. Like, look, I'm 45 years old and I'm excited as hell about the new He-Man movie.
There makes complete sense.
Yeah. So, you know, or, me being excited about the new season of Game of Thrones. I'm sorry, House of Dragon.
I in a different light, I was super excited about Invincible.
Yeah,
I mean, it it all goes back to that one four-letter word that non-wrestling fans like to throw out there. It's
that's okay.
fake.
Yeah.
No,
Well,
it's not fake, it's predetermined. If then you mean to tell me that you are just watching documentaries and the news all the time?
yeah,
You know that guy over there that can transform into a massive green monster and break everything without even trying? That ain't real either.
right.
But I'm not crapping on Marvel. I love that stuff too. It's just you got to put it into perspective.
Right. No, absolutely. Absolutely. All right, buddy, you got anything else?
One more thing.
Yeah.
You had mentioned in our last show. I'll just sit here and say it again. Shout out Danhausen.
It's funny. You have people who are mad that, he got that spot at WrestleMania instead of, certain matches and stuff like that. I'm like, look, Danhausen's bringing in money. That the segments that he's doing with the Miz, especially in his pool, um, Miz is asking him, "What are you doing in my pool?" Swimming, of course. So
When he come up behind him when he answered the door, who's there?
yeah. So no, Danhausen doing what he does. It's awesome to see. I still want to see a segment between. Actually, I thought on Monday we'll get Danhausen and Joe Hendry. Uh, but that's okay. I'm sure we'll get it.
It'll happen.
Yeah.
Danhausen will inevitably have a segment with every single person
Yep.
just because of how ridiculous he is.
Yep. But yeah, fun times. Anything else?
Nah, I got nothing else.
All right. Well, a quick show for some wrestling. Once again, please like and subscribe. And if you want to leave a comment, please do so below. For Austin, this is Paul. See you next time.
See ya.